Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Watch. I'm your watcher Steve, and today I will be breaking down and giving you my thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. To begin with, the movie takes place in the past to introduce the device of the movie, and I mean that literally as well as figuratively because Indy quite literally chases after a mechanical device throughout the entire thing. So, we first find Indiana in 1943 Europe, where he is being captured by the Nazis after trying to retrieve the Lance of Longinus. Accompanying him on his quest is his English friend Basil Shaw, who finds himself captured as well, but in a different area. As we all come to expect, Indy escapes and locates the Lance, however, discovers that it's a replica. The whole trip isn't an entire waste of time though, as Basil discovers that aboard the train they're on is a device called the Antikythera, which was created by the famous mathematician Archimedes. This excites the boys, especially Basil, as legend says that the device is capable of locating fissures in time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this one's about time travel. Anyway, the boys manage to get a hold of the device after a little interaction with a few Nazis, and Mads Mikkelsen's Jürgen Wohler, a German physicist working for Hitler, and they manage to escape the train with the help of the Allied Air Force, who bombed the train line. Jumping ahead to the present day, 1969, we now find Indy alone, after his son has died and he's separated from his wife Marion. And it just gets worse for Indy, as his classes are no longer the same. The students aren't interested in what he has to say at all, and they find his classes dull, and he really struggles to get any interaction out of them. He appears to be a bitter old man, unhappy with his life and everyone around him. Indy is at the end of his road, and he retires from the university and readies himself for a solitary end of his life. Depressing, huh? Just like any of Indy's movies, things happen. People come into his life and he gets sucked into all the drama. In a nutshell, Basil's daughter Helena, who is nicknamed Wombat for some reason, approaches Indy about the dial. Indy shows her the dial, which he has kept hidden in secret, and then the CIA show up accompanied by a few of Jürgen Wohler's henchmen. It's at this point we see that Wohler has worked with NASA since the war and is in good with the Americans. We also find here that the dial in Indiana's possession is actually only half of the device, and to use it they must hunt down the second piece. Of course though, Wohler has other plans. And this is where all the running around begins. I'll try to keep it succinct for you, but basically Wombat steals the device and tries to sell it off. She's tracked down by Indy, followed by Wohler. Wohler gets the device and is then captured by the CIA agent. And the CIA agent is then killed by Wohler's men, and the group then escapes. Everyone then heads to Greece to find the second piece. Indy and Wombat get there first and scuba dive down in the Aegean Sea to retrieve a lead to where they could find the second half, but only for Wohler to arrive and kill a few people, including one of Indy's old friends. At this point, he reveals his plans to time travel back to 1939 to actually kill Hitler. Plot twist, right? He plans to kill Hitler and take control, stating that he saw every one of Hitler's blunders during the war. Wombat gives Wohler false information for where the other half of the dial can be found, and then she and Indy escape, setting sail for Archimedes' tomb. Here, they find the second piece. Indy is shot in the shoulder, and the piece is stolen by Wohler. The German then uses the device to time travel. However, the coordinates are off, and instead of heading to 1939, the group find themselves in 212 BC. They were just a little bit off. Anyway, Indy and Wombat manage to stop Wohler, but Wombat is forced to knock Indy out because he has delusions of staying in the past. Everyone returns to their appropriate time, and Indy is reunited with his ex-wife Marion, and the two seem to get back together again. The end. I wasn't sure how I would feel about this movie when I went into it. To be honest, I thought Harrison Ford was a bit too old to be playing the character anymore, and I kind of felt that they should have left the character in franchise rest, and I don't think I was entirely wrong. Even though Harrison is obviously getting older, I do think they managed to deal with the age factor rather well. Indy was definitely aged in this one, and it seemed like he didn't really want to be there the entire time, so that part made sense. I got the sense in some parts of the movie that Harrison was just playing Harrison, and in other words, just a grumpy old man. Obviously, I don't know him, but that's the impression I got. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character of Helena, or Wombat, was pretty good. There were times where I didn't care for her so much, but I thought she brought a lightheartedness to the movie, which is something that I think we've all come to expect from Waller-Bridge. I think the trouble with the character was that I didn't really care for the connection she had with Indy. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but she's actually his goddaughter. I liked her as a singular character. She's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. She's intelligent, funny, and can handle herself when she needs to. But when it comes to their relationship, I just don't think they stuck the landing properly. I just thought it was a bit flimsy. Now, Mads Mikkelsen. I don't have much to say on his character. Let's be honest, we all know he plays a good baddie. We just have to look at Casino Royale to know that. I thought he performed well, as per usual. But I did notice a shift from the first part of the film to the rest. When we first found him in 1943, he's portrayed as a bit more nerdy and less menacing. And then for the rest of the film, he's more dominant and threatening. I don't know if this was on purpose, but that's one of the gripes I have with his character. It just seemed like he was two different people in a way. I don't know, maybe they can just put that down to character growth in the 20-something years we don't see him. But yeah, either way, I did like his performance overall, and I thought he played a good nemesis for Indy. I do have issues with the film though. First of all, I don't like the time travel aspect of it. It just seems like they went big for the sake of it. And I don't think an Indiana Jones film should be doing time travel. It seems way too sci-fi if you ask me. It's meant to be an adventure film. I would have much preferred if they kept it simple. I know they did aliens in the last one, but to be honest, I don't think they really belonged in an Indiana Jones film either. The final act literally has Indy in a different time, and I just think that's ridiculous for this type of film. It's like Indiana Jones meets Doctor Who. If they kept it at the threat of time travel, I may have liked it better, but I don't like that they actually did the time travel. They could have had Indy stop Voller just before he went through the portal or something. If you disagree though, let me know. Maybe I'm just being too critical. And the other issue I had with the film was the opening. It involved a big exchange with Nazis, with lots of bullets, a noose and danger. But the trouble is, I didn't feel anything throughout the entire thing. We already knew that Indy grows old, so when it came to the danger, I wasn't worried in the least. All the opening did for me was inform me of the dial. So because of this, I felt the opening dragged on a bit. Don't get me wrong, the action was cool and it all looked great, but it didn't excite me like I'd want it to. And then finally was the CGI. For the most part, I thought it was great, especially the de-aging stuff. Indy looked really good. But there were moments where you could see the bad CGI of Indy's face when a stunt double had obviously done the deed. This is just a small issue for me, because obviously Harrison is getting on in years and can't be expected to do them himself, but at times it took me out of the film. If they worked on it a little bit more, I probably wouldn't have even noticed. But, at least to me anyway, I could see it on screen. Even though I do have issues with the film, overall, I think Disney and Lucasfilm did pretty well. Other than the time travel aspect, it really did feel like an Indiana Jones movie. Is it my favourite of the franchise? No. But it did make me want to watch the others again, so I'd call that a success. Will I rush back to watch it again? Again, no, I would not. I don't think I'd go back to watch it in the cinema anyway. I do think it's good enough for a rewatch, but I won't be in a hurry to do it. I don't think they were ever going to knock this one out of the park, but I'm happy with what I saw. I managed to have a laugh on occasion, I enjoyed the characters, and I got to watch some good action scenes. All in all, not a bad movie. I'd recommend watching it so you can get your own thoughts. You will enjoy it, but I wouldn't be expecting to be blown away. But that's it from me today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed listening. If you want to hear my thoughts on other shows and movies, or if you like movie and TV show trivia, then please subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.